You wanted to see me? Well, here I am. Should I come back later? Should I come back earlier? In kind of a time machine situation? I could do that too. I've really I'm so glad you're back. I was expecting you. I was expecting, what to I'm trying not to assume anybody's going to come, but I was expecting, it's maybe not the word, but hoping. I was hoping you would join me. I saved you a seat. But we also do have a guest. I'm drinking I forgot to get a water, and I had this can of watermelon juice in my backpack. It's been there a long time, and drinking it, and I think it may be, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be refrigerated. So we'll see what happens with that. But welcome back, everybody, to the Hole in the Pen Cap. I'm Reier Cammerman. I'm your host. This is episode 16. We've been on a hiatus. I know I've been doing a bit, kind of just getting lost, kind of just running away from things I'm not beat that aren't even chasing me. Really, just kind of a solo game of tag, and in many ways, just exploring, walking through a jungle that's kind of not even a jungle. It's just beads on a door. I suppose those doorway beads kind of do have the similar qualities to maybe what a jungle would feel like. I feel like just kind of having things around you, swaying around you. But what would that even be I'm sorry I was gone. Thank you for thank you for coming back. I am very excited. I've been going through a lot, not in a negative way. Just, if that's always seen as a negative thing, isn't it? Going through a lot. I know I've talked about that before, but no, just I suppose experiencing living life, which is valuable, to live life. Because you're always living, but are you always living life? Yeah, I think so. I would say it probably, but no, I got some tattoos. It's pretty cool, pretty badass. Is it? I don't know. Are tattoos? It's weird how you think of tattoos as kind of hardcore, but then you have to put so much lotion on them, which is kind of like it's kind of something you do to. It doesn't seem as badass, It doesn't seem as. Sometimes it's just so much easier to instead of saying a word, just to do an action, a bit of kind of real world charades in many ways, instead of, you just, and then people have to get, it's like, is it one word? And you're not giving them any hints because it's not charades. It's just who you are, really. But I've been getting tattoos, and I would think probably to compensate for something. I'd imagine that's what it's for, but why is that bad? Why is, we always, we attach so much negativity to compensate, like, oh, you must be, the guy has a big truck. I bet he's compensating for something. Why? I mean, that's cool. Yeah, it's cool. That works. It's like if you had half a jar of peanut butter, and then someone's like, hey, we could put another half a jar of jelly in there. And I'd be like, well, that's great. To compensate for the lack of peanut. Yeah. Well, that's already a thing. Is that I think it's called Goober. It's something like that. I don't know. I never liked it. I think we got it a few times, but I didn't like it. I do like this episode, so maybe that doesn't prove my point. But yeah, I love tattoos. I think I want to eventually have a sleeve. it's interesting how it makes complete sense why we call it that, because the sleeve is something that covers your arms. So, but now I'm realizing I maybe, I'm trying to figure out how I want to tie everything together, because right now I have a rhino vacuuming the grass at night, which is a wonder. My tattoo artist is so wonderful. She, I think that's probably what it's going to end up being. Is just me throwing very strange concepts, and then asking her to build it into something. And then I just have the logo of my favorite band, which is Rainbow Kitten Surprise. As we all know. No, it's not everybody. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know what exactly it means to me, but the idea of getting tattoos, but it's very exciting for me. Maybe it's some sort of, ownership, or it's me making choices, me, I suppose making choices about my own body and making not that other people make choices about my body, but, well, that would be weird, but I think you should, yeah, well, how would that, I think you should be purple, but I don't want to be purple. Because then, no other people are purple. Yeah, you want to be like everyone else, Reier? Yes. It is kind of funny to agree to that, is to just kind of say, yeah, I'm just trying to be like everybody else. Even though we kind of subconsciously do that, especially like, in adolescence and whatnot. But to say it out loud is bewildering. It's surprising. There's a lot of things that are, I would say universally known, but surprising to say out loud. Maybe not universal, but like, maybe you have kids and you love them, but you don't want to like. You don't enjoy the responsibility of taking, well, that's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm not saying this about you. I'm saying, well, maybe, there's certain things none of us, like for me, I would say mine are very kind of specific though, like to gender dysphoria and whatnot. Like, I don't know, like I want a man to take me under his wing and teach me how to be a man. That sort of thing. Which is odd to say out loud because it's kind of shocking to it's what? But I think we all want, or even more broaden the scope. Take the scope and call it a broad. Broad and broad are two very different things with kind of similar sounds, but broad. What even is a broad? A broad is like a blonde woman, right? Or I suppose they don't have to be a blonde. It's just like an attractive woman. Hello. It would be fun if I just take the scope and broaden it. What were we talking about, Reier? Well, looks like somebody parked a little too close to the Reier Hydrant. That's not related. I did forget what I was saying. That's why I haven't done this in a while. It's been about 2 months, I think. And this year, and I know I've said this before, but this year, 2025, it's coming up. My goal is to be very consistent, and I have some great support, and we're gonna get it on Spotify. Finally, it's happening. It's really happening, and you know that because I'm not gonna be the one doing it. Someone's gonna do it for me. I was gonna say help me, but I will not be. They're gonna be doing it. See, that's another thing we don't say. Sometimes maybe you're ashamed of something, like there's something you know you should be doing, but you're anxious about it, or so you say, oh yeah, they helped me fix my car, when in fact you just stood there on the side and you just kind of texted people, or you talked to them. Sometimes when I know I'm not helping with something, I'll start asking questions to kind of feel like I'm they're not contributing, but in the future maybe I'll be able to contribute. I'm not saying this is good, but it's, if like when I got a flat tire a few months ago, and my friends were fixing it for me, and I was standing there going, so what's that tool called? Oh, this is a wrench, Reier. Oh, all right. Well, what do you do with it? Just kind of very, like, almost upsettingly simple questions. Do you ever do that? Do you ever ask somebody something and then you realize, oh, this is too easy to ask? It'll be like, maybe you're at the grocery store and you ask which aisle something's in, and then they tell you, and then you go, okay, well, I don't even know what a good example, but you would say, so where is it going to be in the aisle? Like, I would just look around for you'd probably find it pretty quick. Yeah, like you just ask something or much easier than that even, of just like, I don't know, when I talked about this, I think, but when I was in wrestling, my coach would get mad at me because I would ask him to like repeat things that he had said. Because I was always listening. I was just, maybe not always, but I would say most of the time, I just didn't understand it. And then I would say it, and then he would be like, right, I don't enjoy repeating myself. Well, then screw me, I guess. I'm just over there kind of, yeah, I mean, I totally understand where he's coming from. I mean, I'm sure it was very irritating. Just me kind of standing there going, can you say it again? And everybody, and it's a limited time, you know what I mean? Like it's really kind of eating into our time at practice. I'm just going, all right, I know everybody else is ready, but I'm gonna need to see that about 8 more times. And then I still will do it wrong. Yeah, that was probably the worst part is I would ask to see it so many times, and then I would still do it wrong. Oh God. So I see where I was coming from. Yeah, when you ask people to repeat things, I imagine that's very it's very upsetting. Yes, so I did. I left for a while. I left Austin for a little bit. I was feeling, what's the word when you're like you want to get out? I wanted to go see things, and I don't know. Honestly, for a while, I've been kind of contemplating. Didn't mean. I think I just spit on accident. I didn't mean to, and I wasn't sure if you noticed. So if you didn't notice, I didn't want to say anything, but I thought you maybe noticed. And yeah, I've been contemplating for a while if I want to move somewhere. New York has been the one that I've really been thinking about. I want to visit that. I want to visit there this year, 2020 in 2025. That's a goal of mine. But I also was curious about LA. About just kind of to see what it's like, especially since coming out as trans, I had an interest in kind of going to see Mecca in a sense, going to see, not that that's really comparative, maybe, just kind of going to see the I guess going there and seeing how if I felt more comfortable, if it would be, because at one point I really was considering, maybe this is where I go to transition, in a way, and then come back, and because it's hard, it's at least for me, and I if anyone else has experiences or wants to comment on it or whatever, I'm interested in hearing it, but of course. But for me, transitioning in a place where everybody already knows you is one thing, and then you're asking them it's very difficult, because it's just even if it wasn't gender, even like if you're just changing your name or something, it's just very it takes a long time. It's very difficult, and you have a lot of people questioning it, of course. One of the things that that seems to happen is certain people will kind of challenge you on it, which is fun, in a way. It's kind of, it's not fun at all, but it's all in how you look at it, maybe. I don't know, but like some people will do this thing where, they've never said these things to you before, but now that you've come out, they start kind of calling you like really feminine nicknames, or maybe for trans women, maybe it's masculine nicknames. But for me, it'll be like, hey, what's up, queen? I'm not a monarch. Hey, where you going, sister? I'm telling mom. I don't know. This is dumb. But essentially that, or girl, they call you girly, things like that. And I don't know, I've always been, I've been like this, especially since starting comedy, but I would say the vast majority of my life I've been very masculine. I wouldn't say I was ever feminine in any way, but yes, it's just odd because it never happened before. So it just kind of started. But, that's just part of it. I think with consistency, and that's what I'm realizing, because I came out in August, and it's December now, so like September, October, so like 4 months. And it's people are getting a lot better about it, and I don't expect them to, I wouldn't get upset at anyone for not doing the pronoun thing. I get it. But what some people do, what I've noticed has happened, and it's getting better now, but there were a lot of people that kind of stopped using any pronouns and just started calling me Reier, like in the place of pronouns, which is nice, it's sweet, and I get where people, I think they're trying to avoid any confusion, but it ends up just sounding really weird, like a children's poem or something, It'll be like, Reier went to Reier's house. What? Who's he with? Reier's with Reier's self. Reier's self? What? Yeah, just kind of, and it's sweet, but it's just not how you talk about people. It feels weird. That's why it feels weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be creating a new thing. I guess I do, but not in gender. You know what I mean? In comedy, I guess I want to be creating a new thing, but I don't want there to be like women, men, and then Reiers. There's just not enough of us. But it's because you people, and living beings, we have genders. I don't know, certain, maybe for insects and stuff, we use it and whatever, but when you just call me Reier, it almost feels like how you would reference like a chair. It's like, oh, like, hey, where's the chair? Oh, it's stacked on the other chairs. The chair is on the. So yeah, I'm just kind of stacked up like a bunch of chairs. But no, people are doing their best, and it's very sweet, and it's obviously, ideally, the goal is to and I think. And I do get, not anxiety, but I think I don't want to be someone that talks about it too much, because I know that there's that oversaturation, and then people go, oh, that's all you ever talk about. And I wouldn't want that. But I do also want to, it's an unusual thing to do. Unusual in the sense that it's also a significant thing to do in my life, in anyone's life, when you're changing something that's so integral to how you're treated and how you're viewed and everything, and you just flip that. That's a huge thing. That would be me not talking about it. Especially while it's directly, like the next year or so, while it's, I'm going through the main part of it, which is like starting testosterone and things like that. Not talking about it would be very odd. You know what I mean? Because I don't even know what an equivalent would be. Like, it would be like, I don't know, like having kid, like being pregnant and not saying anything. And then when you do talk about it, people are like, oh, you just talk about being pregnant. You're one of those pregnant people. Yeah, I am a pregnant. Yeah. I'm pregnant. So yeah, I mean, and I know everybody here is, you guys have been very supportive, and I think it's a lot of it is just in our heads, right? You know, we think that people are annoyed when we talk about things, and nobody is, you know? Everybody's like, yeah, sure, talk about it, whatever you want. Very supportive. I have a lot of very supportive, kind friends, and that's wonderful. That's a big part of why I left LA a little early. I went to LA, left about 4 days early. And I think it was because I was feeling very homesick. I just wanted to come back, and I wanted to see my friends and just feel, because I enjoyed that there were very nice people there, but I was struggling to make friends, as I do when I go to a new scene, and I've done that a few times. It just takes me a while to get to the first 6 months of Austin were really rough for me too. And so I knew that was going to happen, but it was just, and then in LA, you're driving all the time too. So you're just sitting in your car by yourself, which I enjoy being alone. I like being by myself, but I wanted to be my choice to some extent, you know, like, I don't want to have to be in the car for like 4 hours a day when it's not even like it's just a normal day to do mics and shows and whatever. You're just sitting in your car. I do love my car. I need to clean my car out, but I did clean my car out a little bit because I had to take it to the dealership. What's in a deal? Yeah. Oh, I've got a coffee too. I know, I've got all the liquids. I'm kind of a holder of liquids in many ways, but dealership. Yeah, when I think of a deal, you know, you're dealing cards and a ship. It'd be funny if there was like a Subaru dealership in an actual ship. And you just kind of you kind of have to dock, you leave your car at the dock, and then you get on the ship, and it kind of takes you around for a while, and then you get off, and then you take your car back. That would be very interesting. I mean, it would be a logistical nightmare and not pragmatic at all. Pragmatic, I think that's the right word, but I haven't done this in a while, so I think some aspects of it I'm not used to anymore, like the breathing, when you have to breathe, and that's interesting that's something. Yeah, so I don't know how to breathe anymore, so that's a problem, but I'm worried that I'm making mouth, you know, when you're slightly dehydrated and your mouth sounds like I don't know, I get kind of hyper focused on things sometimes, where I go, God, I don't want it to sound like that because it's a very annoying sound. I think, to me, when I do it, I don't. So instead, I just am drinking a lot of liquid, which is probably also. So I went to the Subaru dealership, and because I have a Subaru, and it wasn't. I know it's very funny. It's very odd. I did not know. I think I knew vaguely of the stereotype, but it definitely wasn't the reason I have the car or anything. I mean, it used to be my dad's car, so, and he's not a lesbian, so I'm not. Well, I'm not either anymore, I suppose. Depends how you look at it. I guess you could just say I'm kind of maybe an advanced lesbian. Are trans men just kind of advanced lesbians? Is that kind of they're just kind of up the rank, you know, the evolution of that, you know, you've got like woman, lesbian, trans, well, that's misogynist, probably. You think it's intentional that misogynist and misogynist, misogynist is not a thing. I think it's just a massage therapist is what they would be called, but what they would be. Oh yeah, I bet you would. But they would be called that. So I went to the Subaru dealership, and because I thought my brakes were going out, and I found out that they still have some time left on them, but something was maybe stuck in the, you know, I don't know where it would have been stuck, but they were saying maybe a rock had gotten jammed somewhere or something. And I also got my oil changed, but I went there, and I was talking to the guy at the front desk. We were making small talk, and I was trying to I guess I don't know if I don't think I was trying to be funny. I think I was genuinely curious. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, so are is it true about the, like lesbians and Subarus?" And he said, "What?" Like the stereotype that lesbians, like a lot of lesbians drive Subarus. And then he said, "I've never heard of that," which is wild. I don't know how you can't, I swear, I mean, that's insane. To work at a Subaru dealership and to not be aware of that is crazy. But then I walked into the waiting room and there literally were lesbians in there. I mean, I don't know. I could see how you'd maybe think not like a bunch, but they were in there. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you would. So either he was lying about it, which is a strange thing to do, or, I mean, I don't know. He seemed maybe he thought I was kind of being insensitive, but I look like this, So if anything, it's really research at this point that I'm, just taking stats for the community. I'm just kind of coming around with a clipboard. "So how many lesbians have been here today?" And he's, "What? What even is, I don't know. I don't think he was actually, maybe I asked it wrong. I don't know. I don't even know how you would ask. That's probably not something you're probably not supposed to ask that at all, to be honest. It's a strange thing to ask. And, yes, I've been, I'm trying to figure out if I want to talk about being a barback or if I want, let's talk about this. I think I got robbed before I left for I went to see my mom in Wisconsin. I did some shows there. I did a couple shows in Chicago, and then I went to LA. So I was gone for a while, for like 4.5 weeks or something. But before that, I think I got robbed kind of voluntarily, which is an odd thing to say. I don't know. I want to share the story, and you tell me if you think it's my fault, which I'm pretty sure it is, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. So I was getting gas at 2 a.m. by myself. I don't know if you have your answer yet, but I was getting gas at 2 a.m. by myself, and it was very straight. I was standing. So I had the pump, and I was kind of at the farthest pump away from the door, where no one could help me or hear what the issue. But what ended up happening is this homeless guy came over after I'd started pumping gas in my car. So I was tethered. Very smart of him. Came over and he goes, hey man, you got any money?" Maybe in a more raspy tone, I don't know, but I think he was maybe a cigarette smoker. And I go, "No, I'm sorry, I don't think I have anything." And then because I said think, he goes, "Check." It's very smart. Yes. I go, "No, I'm sorry. I don't have anything, dude." He goes, "No, check." And so I put my hand in my pocket to appease him. I thought what I was grabbing was a note card, because I'll for stand up, I'll write ideas on note cards and I'll put it in my pocket. And I have no idea how I didn't notice the texture difference, but I pull out a wad of cash. And you say, "Reier, why do you have a wad of cash?" I was barbacking that night, and it was just tips. So it was probably like $20 or something of that nature, in like small bills. And I pull it out, I'm holding it, and he goes, "Yes." And I go, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry, man. I need this." I grab $1 and I hold it out and I go, "Here you go." And which I don't know if that's rude. I wasn't trying to be rude. I think it's just I told him no, and then he continued, and then I kind of made a crazy mistake by pulling out a wad of The word wad is funny too. A wad of cash. And so I hold out the one, and then he goes, "No, there's more." Correct. There was more. I go, "No, I can't, dude. I'm sorry." And then he starts walking towards me, and I get scared, so I throw it at him. And I didn't mean to. I was scared. I think handing it would have for sure been better, but I was afraid he was going to grab me. But I don't know. I'm really, there's like fight or flight or freeze. Freeze is also one. I guess that's probably the one I'm closest to. But I just kind of freak out. Like so I just kind of gave it to him, and it seemed like a weird kind of like a stripper situation almost, because I'm just throwing, like there's just cash flying everywhere. And he's like going to pick it up, and he goes, "Thank you so much." Which is not something you want to hear when you're being robbed, which I thought I would. I don't know. So maybe it's my fault. I guess I'm excited to kind of get stronger. That'll be good, because I don't think I'm intimidating. I think people are definitely not intimidated by me, which is good. Intimidated is kind of a scary way to put it. I don't want to scare people, but I don't want them to come up to me in the middle of the night and ask for money. Well, I guess it really was why was I out in the middle? Yeah. But it's all, all is well, I suppose. What else do we have? Yeah, I guess this ties into it. I've been learning to stand up for myself, I think. And that's why, but that's why I think I'll get better at it, with the confidence. I think I've been needing to gain confidence, with the transition, especially because it's very hard to transition, if you don't believe it, if you're not going to stand on it and say, no, this is what it is, because then people they're going to go, okay, then why am I, if you don't, you have to have this outrageous confidence, which I don't have. And I've never had that, because I think it scares me, when people are super confident, because it's like, oh, well, are they delusional? I never want to be seen as delusional. That really scares me. I think it's the same reason I don't want to be, I may be connected with like, I don't want anyone to see me as stupid, or not that delusion is stupidity, because it's not the same thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I've just been learning to stand up for myself, but I'm doing it kind of like how a baby learns to stand up. Just kind of thrusting my chubby arms onto an ottoman, just kind of grabbing onto a tablecloth, thinking it's not going to fall down, because I don't understand how things work. And I grab it and I pull up, and a bunch of plates come flying, and I'm upset, and I because everybody around me is mad, and there's a bunch of noise, and I'm upset, even though I caused it. But then people comfort me. They go, it's okay, because I'm a baby. So in that particular example, but yeah, just kind of learning to stand up for myself, but doing it in weird ways, I think, like I've been having this dream. This is another thing that I kind of ties back to what we were saying earlier about things that you want or think about but don't tell people. I've been having this dream where so I'm in the bathroom, and a guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, you need to get out of here. And then he says a word that's, I don't know if I could say it on you. I think it's probably best not to say it, but let's replace it. You treehouse. And then I go, I'm the treehouse. And then I punch him, and he falls over, which is not realistic, by the way. This whole dream, I've had this dream many, many times. Probably close to 10, maybe 7, 8, 9. In that way, I don't know if that's pretty broad, but I would say it's up there between 7 and 9. I should maybe track it for research sake, but I've been having, yeah. So I walk kind of backwards out of the bathroom. I don't know why the backwards detail, but yeah, none of it's really. I wouldn't be able to punch. I mean, I don't have that strength or that gumption. But yeah, I think it's maybe my subconscious telling me to kind of stand up for myself, and so even if it's like when people just being confident too is a major part of it. But yeah, I think it's strange. Do you ever have dreams like that where you know it's indicative of something, like it's a symbolic of something? It's showing like what you want, but you also you don't want to tell anyone about it. It's almost like if you had a dream where you like someone that you're fighting with, you guys were like best friends or something, or like maybe you were in love with someone you're not supposed to love or something, and then you don't want to talk about it 'cause it's like, oh, it's gonna be really weird, like that's my aunt. Just an example. So yeah, I've been having that dream, so I'm trying to kind of decide what that means. Just kind of break that one down. And I've also a bit of a different topic, but I've been getting these emails from Sam's Club, and we have nothing to talk about. So I don't know why they keep coming through. I don't. I have an irrational phobia of membership-based retail warehouses. Whole life. It's very strange. It's and I don't know exactly where it's rooted from. It's just ever since I can remember, I haven't been able. They freak me out. Even like Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart's with high ceilings, and I know there's a lot of like different factors. Like the wheelchairs always freaked me out. Like the electric wheelchairs always freaked me out, and I think it was like I don't know if it. I know a lot of different things. Like I also had a thing with hospitals and all that, where things in hospitals being near food made me uncomfortable because it was like maybe I connect like hospitals and doctors with sickness, and then I see a wheelchair and I connect that with, even though I know there's obviously a lot of people in wheelchairs, so you don't have to be sick to be in a wheelchair, but maybe I see a wheelchair and then it's next to the food we're buying, and there's something in my head that goes, no, I like, it freaks me out for whatever reason. So yeah, somebody's been giving my email, and I think it might be one of my brothers. I don't know why they would do that, but I don't know who else knows. My friends know, but it's not like my comedy. It's like my personal email. But it keeps happening, and so it's kind of like it's a weird thing. I'm a lot better about it now. It used to be very aggressive. Like someone would say Sam's Club or Costco, and I would just feel like dirty and have to wash my hands, and and if I was eating, so still now like eating something, I don't like to think about it, which is strange. I know it's strange. But yeah, I don't know why I've always just felt very, very uncomfortable there. I considered getting a tattoo of the logo to like get myself through it, and then I said, well, that's a horrible idea, because then I don't even, it's not like a cool, that would be such a strange tattoo, and I would hate it. So it's hard to say, but yeah, no, that's been happening, and I don't really know what to do about that. But I do think it's funny. I do think something about it is funny. Oh, maybe we'll do one or two more. Sorry, I know as we do these, we become more consistent. I'll definitely flow a little better. I think I'm still very rusty. Rusty, like a tricycle left out in the rain, kind of. That's what they call me. Reier the rain tricycle. It's kind of what I've. Yeah. Well, let's end on this one. I got a blood pressure cuff for a doctor's appointment that I have coming up, which does make you think it's not a real doctor. I totally get that. it's for the possibility of getting on testosterone. It's like a consultation thing. And so I had to do my own blood pressure, which is interesting because I didn't read the instructions for whatever reason. I didn't want to, which is crazy. But I was just kind of figuring it out as I went, and there's many things, and I really wasn't doing. It took a long time because I wasn't doing it right. Like I would be, pressing the button, and then I'd be like eating a sandwich. And you can't be eating while you get your blood pressure taken. I mean, it really affects it. You can't really talk. I don't much, or move. I was just like laying down and like cross my. It was a very funny visual. It's funny to be doing medical procedures in your car. Like if you had like a stethoscope or something and you're just listening to your own heart, well, in your Toyota or in your Ford Escape or something, if you're just sitting in a car, you're just kind of taking your own blood. That would be weird. Yeah, I was doing that and people were walking by and I was curious what maybe they thought was happening. It's kind of fun to think about what other people, to be like, oh, I wonder what other people think is happening right now, because there's no way they would guess the right thing. I mean, they would guess I'm taking my blood pressure, but yeah, I thought that was funny. I mean, I don't know, or maybe concerning, but I think that's kind of where's the line between funny and concerning? It's a very hard line it's kind of a squiggly line, maybe more than, sometimes I'll look at a squiggly line and I'll just think, God, how did you get them on board with you? I look at, I think there's something very beautiful about a squiggly line because, a straight line is, I imagine, probably came before the squiggle. Would you think? Because to get people, I don't even know where I'm going, but to get people excited about something unusual is very beautiful. Not that people are excited. I think we just utilize squiggly lines all the time, right? Thank you so much for coming by today. I had a wonderful time. We're going to be a lot more consistent. Thank you. I hope you stay and we all grow together like a bushel of grapefruit trees, or I don't know if that would be a bushel, but this was episode 16th of The Hole in the Pen Cap. I'm Reier Cammerman. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.